In the beginning there was the void, and from it a single line. In a room cast in deep shadows, a lone figure, wrought from simple strokes, sat in contemplation. Before him lay a single point, a nascent idea in the vast emptiness. He was the architect, the first dreamer. Outside his solitary chamber, the world was a canvas of grey. Stickmen, their forms slumped in despondency, stood in endless, motionless queues that snaked through the bleak city streets. They waited for permissions, for access, for a single voice to grant them passage. Their world was a centralized hierarchy of despair, a top-down structure where the many served the few, and a single point of failure held their collective fate in its hands. The air was thick with the silence of stagnation, a world waiting for a spark. The architect began his work, not with grand pronouncements, but with a simple, humble act. He drew a line, a single thread of string connecting one point to another. It was a fragile connection, a whisper in the oppressive silence. He took mundane objects scattered around his dim room, a block, a sphere, a forgotten trinket, and began to weave them together. A line from the block to the sphere, a thread from the sphere to the trinket. Slowly, a small, intricate web began to take shape on his floor. It was a pattern of pure logic, an interconnected tapestry where each object held equal importance. Outside his window, a few of the waiting figures began to stir. Their heads, once bowed, tilted with a flicker of curiosity. They watched the growing lattice, a strange and novel sight in their world of rigid, unbending lines. The web was small, but its potential was infinite, a self-contained universe of connection. The idea, once planted, grew with an irrepressible organic force. The small web in the architect's room breached its confines, its threads extending like vines into the city. It connected lampposts to fire hydrants, doorways to windows, spreading through the urban landscape with unstoppable momentum. The waiting lines dissolved as stickmen, one by one, joined the burgeoning network, adding their own connections and strengthening the whole. The city, once a grid of sorrow, was being rewired from the ground up. Officials in their towering monoliths watched in disbelief. They issued decrees, sent out enforcers, and tried to sever the connections, but their efforts were futile. For every thread they cut, a dozen more were woven elsewhere. The network had no center to attack, no leader to depose. It operated on its own terms, a self-sustaining organism of pure information and exchange, rendering their authority obsolete. In the end, there was the network, a world remade. The architect stood back, a silent observer of his creation. From his vantage point, he watched the city, no longer bleak, but now pulsing with a vibrant, decentralized energy. The web had become a global phenomenon, an intricate and beautiful mesh that spanned the entire world, connecting every individual into a cohesive, unstoppable whole. It was a force that could not be governed, a power that could not be contained. The system had become an entity unto itself, a world-altering paradigm shift that had forever changed the nature of existence. It was a testament to a simple truth, that from a single line a new world could be drawn, and from a single idea a revolution could be born.